What's going on, Junkie Nation? Gorgeous George and Go back with another MMA superstar. This time we get to talk to the Dirty Bird, Tim Means. We've got a big fight coming up against Kevin Holland on June 18th, so it's coming up here in a few weeks. They're in Austin, Texas. Welcome back, Tim Means. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Trying to grab my dog real quick so she don't run off.
Uh-oh. Yeah, let's handle that first. Go ahead and get your dog.
Yeah, we have coyotes. They'll eat this. They'll eat this little guy.
Oh,
she got out of the yard.
What's her name?
They named her Cinnamon. She's a crazy dog. She likes to chase everything.
And you got a lot of coyotes near you?
Oh, yeah, I'm in the mountains, man. So we have like mountain lions and bears and, all the good stuff.
Holy cow. So you live in the mountains, or are you like in a remote spot training?
I'm like in the mountains. So like, if you look around my house, it's just like just a mountain. It's right there. Like that's the Sandia Crest over there, which is like 10,500 feet over there. So
really?
We're up fairly high. Good terrain. So
Tim, you were pretty brutally honest with us when you were in studio years ago, and you talked about, you had a rough upbringing and everything. And I wanted to ask you, this is going to be fight number 25 in the UFC. Has it allowed you to, I guess, provide for your family, which is what you said you always wanted to do? In that respect, has it changed your life?
I think for the positive, yeah. It's given me goals. It's given me ambition. It's given me a reason to want to be good and pay my bills. And it's just got something cool out of my kids and my family to plant a seed and watch it grow over the years. So it's been a very humbling experience, I guess. Thank you.
So now connecting the dots. Did you move out of the neighborhood and now you're in that spot up in the mountains where you were telling us? Is that something that you were able to treat to yourself and your family, like a new neighborhood or whatever?
Yeah. Well, there was a couple factors to getting out of the other place. I've always wanted to be in the mountain, looking up from where you're already, there's not a lot of trees and stuff, and looking back towards the mountain here. It was always a goal to get some property in here and get off. We're not really off the grid. We're still close enough to civilization and stores, if you will, but far enough away from the neighbors where we can jam our music. And, there wasn't all kinds of fires going on right now in New Mexico. I'd say we'd have a cool campfire in the back, but no fires right now because we haven't had no dang rain. But the whole road to this has been humbling and it's given me something to care about and watching my kids grow and just wanting to do the right thing, I guess.
That's amazing. All right. So then the other thing here, I'm curious about these mountain lions. Just how close are they? I mean, you're talking about the dog would have to run 2 miles and then she runs into trouble, or do they come nearby your property?
Yeah, no, they could come hop my fence and snatch up one of the dogs as they wanted. I have a big Rottweiler out here. They'd easily snatch that dog up. Yeah. But yeah, we have bears, we have all that. I haven't actually seen the mountain lion in the neighborhood. I have the neighbors up on the hill who've been here for a long time tell me they have pictures of it crossing their front yard and their windows and stuff. But yeah, they have collared cats through here, that they're tracking and keeping an eye on. So it's definitely the wilderness. We have to respect it, and there's stuff that will eat our dog if we're not paying attention. You can't be mad at the animal if it snatches up your dog and takes off. We're in their backyard too, so just have to keep a careful eye on things and make sure our dog that I got my wife for Valentine's Day doesn't become bait. That wouldn't be good.
I'm just wondering, when, of course this isn't 20 years ago, but jokingly, we all go out and get our newspaper in the morning. I would think you're walking out with a shovel or a gun, because mountain lions like humans too.
Yeah. They say get big and get big in appearance and start grabbing rocks or whatever, but yeah, I don't want to do that either. So hopefully I just don't run into it. But right. if I have to go to the front door to meet God and be like, hey man, I was out hiking, ran into this damn thing. It was my day. It's my time, think I could be all right with that if I had to, but try to avoid it.
Well, we want to see the Kevin Holland Tim Means fight first, so at least give us that pleasure before you start. Obviously, you know what? I'm gonna change the topic because I don't want to jinx it. Our best to you and your family. You said respect the wilderness, and I'm sure you're on top of it. But
Thank you.
now let me ask you something. Holy cow! So 25 fights in the UFC. Did you know that until I told you that? That's got to be pretty meaningful. You made a career out of this, and like not too many people reach 20. And then as you get to 25 and 30, obviously that takes a pretty special athlete, and it means something, I guess, that the UFC thinks so much of you too.
It's put food on the table for sure. You see complaints everywhere from people or whatever, fighter pay and whatever. I try to take care of myself and think about the needs I have in those negotiations or whatever. So we're fairly happy. My side's fairly happy when we signed the dotted line. I heard in an interview earlier last week that it was 25 fights, and I knew I had a bunch of them, but didn't realize that it was exactly that many. But longevity and knowing how to train and do the best you can to avoid injuries and limit hard sparring, and a lot of it's just flowing and movement and learning those things over the years, and how to diet properly and nutrition, how to cut weight properly. It's all been an educational deal over the years, and just learning how to do it, and knowing that I have younger individuals or individuals behind me that would take less pay just to wear a t-shirt and be on TV, or take my spot willingly. So having to train and know that targets are on a UFC roster's back, that they could lose that spot. It just makes grinding every day like this is, and then this fight here. So I've been sitting for almost a year. That's a long time for me, but it hasn't been from the lack of effort. It's injuries, and I caught COVID, and just a variety of things that have gone in. So keeping the mental mindset, staying positive in stressful spots, that has brought out longevity. So I get so many fights at this level, and then staying healthy, and even thinking about the future on how much longer I can go. So it just keeps coming back full circle. That whole humble feeling. It's a lot of humble pie being dished out the last couple of years, such as COVID and things that are going on. So keeping the right mindset and just moving forward.
You haven't fought in a year, but if you look back, the reason you got the 25 fights in the UFC is because you've been pretty active. So like you said, COVID kind of took you out of that other fight with Jeremiah Wells. And I wanted to ask you, I got to imagine before you took the Holland fight, you've probably already had the type of strong, hard workouts or maybe fight simulations that tells you you're ready to go for a high-level fight even before signing the dotted line?
Yeah, definitely ready. I'm already ready. And I don't have to take a hard punch to know that I can take a punch. Some of them hurt more than others, but I know that I'm tough in that aspect. So we don't have to do these 50, 60 hard rounds of banging our head against the wall or a fist. But a lot of high level drilling to work on the cardio and the stamina and the weight. Drillers make killers, some I've learned in the wrestling room over the years of doing this. And I absolutely agree with that saying. So, just train smarter, live longer, go further. Sports science is shot through the roof. You got guys like Tom Brady who are, 45 years old or 44, whatever, still winning Super Bowls. You got, there's a handful of these guys that are still competing at a high level, and there's more of them now. So, they're look at Russell Wilson. That dude drops like $1 million on recovery and nutrition in a year. I think it's a year. So,
wow.
Sports science absolutely works. It's gotten better, and you just got to live the life of it, right?
Yep.
Hey Tim, so what were your thoughts when you found out who your opponent was? I'd like to hear your thoughts, and then I'd like to give you my thoughts of what I thought when I heard that matchup.
It's a banger. Fans are really gonna like the scrap between us. Immediate thought he's gonna be jawing a lot. And then I saw him come out in the chicken suit, choking Big Bird or whatever, and We've had other fighters. I had another fighter come out in a chicken suit, in his hometown. So a lot of talk from that other individual too. So it's nothing new, but it does make for an exciting fight.
It is a banger of a fight, but the first thing I thought was his style, your style, make for such a fun fight. But his style, those type of fighters tend to be tailor made for your style. Um, you can be very pinpoint. You're a pinpoint assassin with your technique, and I wanted to know: is it difficult to just kind of stay focused on what's ahead of you and not the fight of the night and not getting drawn into his game plan?
I think his strong points are definitely my strong skill sets. So it's a fight that I really like stylistically, like you said. Um, but it's just a lot that's going on around the fight. We have all this stuff going on with fires here in New Mexico. We got family and friends that are being evacuated out of their homes. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on around. So the fact that I get to go in the gym and get to vent, get some frustration out, and heck, at the end of the day, get to scrap a coworker. I just find a way to vent days lives or vent everyday lives or everyday things that are going on in our life. So I'm excited for the fight against Holland. I like the fight when I don't have to go and find the guy. They're going to meet me in the middle and try to tear my head off. It's a guy we have right here. And he's going to be trying to run his mouth doing it. And in the times that I've seen him running his mouth deep in these fights, he's been way behind on the scorecard. So the more I can get him to talking, the better this fight's going to go for me and my coaches in my corner. So we have to get him chirping and get him yapping. That's going to sell the fight. Number one. Number two, it's going to know that he's getting out of his comfort, because he likes to talk to stay comfortable. So when he's losing, he's trying to talk more. So we need to get him yapping right away.
Is there one thing you can point to throughout this win streak that you feel like has changed, that has helped you get on this streak and be the best Tim Means physically and mentally?
I'm just trying to be well-rounded, mix things up, change levels. If you get a takedown, cool. Don't have to hold him down for long periods of time. Just definitely mix it up to where I can land good strikes. In the Staropoli fight, I dropped him with a head kick. But I was already mixing in takedowns and throwing straight shots and getting him to slip those shots and find that timing and that rhythm. Once I get into that rhythm, I feel good. I get better as the fight goes on. So the goal here is to find that rhythm. We got to get Holland uncomfortable, or at least win as many small wars in those 5 minutes as we can, and go from there. But it's an exciting fight based on, the guy does a lot of flashy stuff, and he steps across, he comes after you to come fight you. So that's exciting.
Does that type of opponent, when they run their mouth a little bit, does it even pull another gear out of you? Does it make things a little bit more exciting? Because George mentioned 25 fights, different styles along the way. But sometimes we've heard fighters say, man, when a guy chirps like that, it kind of gets me going a little bit more. I train a couple more hours. It really gets me going.
It motivates you for sure. I just find it fun when you got people chatting it up in there, Now, even the buildup, like I think some of these guys cross the line with bringing in family and doing silly things of that nature. But Kevin just he says like random things, which is funny, He just talks to try to throw you off. Like he'll be talking and then zip a punch out there, or stop talking and throw another punch. So he uses his words and his mouth to create rhythm for himself. I get a kick out of that stuff. So, it's just going to be another trailer park fight. We got mouthy words, and then they're going to get in a fight in the front yard and probably have a beer when they're done. This is like we're talking, man. This is a fun fight. Grab your popcorn.
Was this at any point supposed to be a 5-round fight? For some reason, I thought it was unveiled that way. But we get so many fights that are either removed or another fight announcement comes through. Did you ever get that feeling?
No, I knew I was the co-main event, and then Cerrone got sick, and then the Joe Lozon fight was moved. So we knew we were right in the co-main, or right in that area before the fight, but no 5 rounds. No.
Would you have wanted to go 5 rounds?
I like 5 rounds.
Okay.
That definitely figures out who's who's game. 5 rounds, it's a hell of a fight. So we And I'm looking forward to a main event at some point again. You know, we had that main event in Pittsburgh back in like 2014 or something, or 15. That didn't pan out. Shit happens, you know. So I got to win this fight and start chirping for a main event so we can look for 5.
Yeah, that's why when I saw it, I remember making that note too. Like, oh, great, he got himself a main event. And then again, so many things cycle in and out. And then when I see what's coming up, I noticed it wasn't the main event. And I go, oh, okay, well, I'll just ask him that question. But here's another question I wanted to ask you. So we all agree, all three of us, Kevin loves the chirp. He's already did the whole Big Bird thing or whatever. But what was your initial reaction? Did you laugh more, or did he? You know, it didn't seem like really was in any way anything that I think would piss me off. But how about you? You're more of a serious cat.
Oh, I just read the headline. I didn't watch the video. As soon as I saw "Choking My Chicken in Austin," I think was the title. I was like, oh, I don't need to watch that shit. It's cool, you know. He's doing a good job on his end to amp this up or get views or whatever. Good job for him. But I definitely had friends hitting me up that were pissed off, and family like, fuck that dude. I was like, give him credit. This shit's funny. But I thought it got, when I fought Bobby Green in California, King of the Cage, he came out in a chicken suit. He yapped the entire time. There's Fiasco with us in the background, in the back or whatever. I've dealt with this chirping stuff. It's 50. I have 50 fights now, so we've seen just a little bit of everything. People jawing, people not, people focused, people sad, whatever. I think I've been there and done that in this instance. Let's just see if I just can't get him to come out of his comfort zone and put together a spectacular night. And not just even on mine. I hope it's a barn burner, man. I hope we beat the shit out of each other. And like I said, our hands are raised. The fans love it. And like we've been talking in other interviews and stuff. I definitely have a window or a realistic view on times running out based on age and things of that nature. I got a window closing on this deal. So let's get in some memorable fist fights, right?
Yeah, and let me say something here. By the way, I looked at your King of the Cage record. You must be like either the GOAT of King of the Cage or one of them. I think I could have sworn I saw a 13-1-1 record. Have you ever communicated with Treblecock, or has anyone ever told you just how your stats stand up against others that have come through that promotion?
No, I haven't come across stats or anything, but I had a lot of fights there. So,
And a
and we
lot of wins.
traveled a lot of places, Canada, California, Oklahoma. I went a lot of places in King of the Cage. So, kudos to that organization. I felt those cameras and the amount of travel and all that really helped get me ready for the UFC. Kind of like the blueprint of, I wasn't fighting cream of the crop guys like we've been doing now with the UFC, but definitely building up those nerves in front of cameras and traveling and cutting weight on the road. It really helped get me ready for a bigger show. Kudos and thankful to those guys and Tom Vaughn. I had a lot of good times in King of the Cage, a lot of good memories there. But yeah, now I got to start calling Terry and seeing what the heck's up with some good stats.
Bro, let me tell you something. So you had a 5-fight win streak, and then you took a loss. But then after that, I think you went almost like 9 or 10 fights undefeated, because you did have the one draw, but still, it's not a loss. So that's pretty amazing. I look at these records all the time when we interview fighters just to see, like if it's the anniversary of something or if you've locked horns with any other veterans in the past, like you mentioned Bobby Green. And when I saw it, it just really, really jumped out at me. I know Rampage came through there. Diego Sanchez came through there. I'm sure there's a few others that I'm leaving out, but still, that's very impressive, man.
Yeah, just I was there in the fights or whatever, but Tom and JJ and Arlene, those guys really did a good job of molding and getting my career where it needed to go and jump starting it. And looking at like a lot of my team, they want to rush in there so fast. It's like, just take your time, build that up. You're going to get those views and those people in your face, and you're going to have to deal with people crawling on board and on your bandwagon constantly. You got to learn how to filter things out, slow it down a bit. Like everyone wants to grow up so damn fast. Stay a kid a little bit, have a good time with what you're doing and learn as you go. But not everyone jumps on board with that stuff. But I got some fun fights in King of the Cage and some memorable ones the Bobby Green one is definitely one that was back and forth, and I don't think he got off his stool in the third rounder or something to win my first little title with King of the Cage. So, and I had a big old black eye from that fight, so I wore that damn belt grocery shopping, and I wore that shit everywhere. I was super proud.
What happened in the back? What happened in the back with Bobby Green? You said things continued in the back?
No, before they continued, like we were just staring at each other for the rules meeting and jawing back and forth, and we were both there to get in a fight, and it stayed professional, but we just did that jawing and chattering thing back and forth. It made, and then afterwards we were good, shook hands or whatever, and now cordial, but it just made for a good fight. It made for a good setting.
Good stuff. All right, Tim. Look, you're starting to disappear because it's getting dark, and I definitely I want you and your dog to get inside safe, man. But it's always great chatting it up with you. Thanks so much for squeezing us in. I hope you have a safe camp, whatever's left. Safe travels to Austin, Texas, and then have one banger of a fight on the 18th. We'll be tuning in. I can't wait for this one. This is going to be a good one.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for the invite, as always. Get better too. Rest up.
Thank you, sir. All right, take care, man. See you.